BLUELOCK chapter 311 has just released, and dare I say, this is the most unexpected chapter, a fever dream of a chapter, because we finally got more information on the Buratsuta 3, potential returning characters, and the U20 World Cup about to start. This chapter is literally unbelievable, a shocking chapter, so let's jump into it quick. The chapter begins with the announcement of 1 day left until the U20 World Cup begins. We see our boys training, Raichi calling for a counter, and Yukimiya and Nanase pressing him for a 2-on-1. We see Ego staring down the field, watching in person, which is actually pretty cool. We usually don't see Ego watching in person. Hiyori has the ball and passes it to none other than Isagi, who scores a goal with Nico trying to get to him. I just have to point this out. Of course, it would be Fukaku Gen missing a save. Even in a practice match, mans can't beat the fraud allegations. He's literally made one save in the whole entire series. Iyemon from Team Z has more saves. It's starting to piss me off at this point because he's only here from a charity salary. Mr. Beast gave him his offer, and he's still here because it's unrealistic to have one goalkeeper. Shigiri congratulates Isagi on his goal, and we see Bachira is on the same too. But we jump over to Isagi, who is panting, and tells Hiyori that his tempo was too slow, his cross was a little too early, and at the top world-class level, his cross would have been blocked. No thank you, no nice job, nothing. Straight trying to correct Hiyori. How greedy, Isagi Yoichi. But for real, it is a practice match, so of course you want to correct any mistakes and hold yourself to a high standard, so I kind of get Isagi a little bit. Let's be honest, there has been worse things said though. Like Itoshi Rin is my GOAT, but this guy is constantly talking about destroying people. So maybe Isagi is chill for saying something like this in comparison, but there's definitely a nicer way to go about it, which is why Karasu calls out Isagi, and grab your popcorn, folks, because now we're getting into an argument. Karasu starts with the first stray, saying that Isagi is asking for too much and that he's still stiff before the match. And Isagi is confused, and look at bro's face. He took this like a direct attack on him. So he starts going off on how their goal is to win, so what's wrong with having an ideal or standard to strive for? Hiyori laughs and says maybe that's what makes him right, and Karasu looks up, rolling his eyes, and says he could have said it in a nicer way. And then Isagi says he wasn't trying to be harsh, he's just sharing his opinion, and Karasu snaps, saying then don't say stuff like tepid, it ain't like Hiyori is slacking. Everyone just calling everyone idiots at this point, and Isagi was about to throw some hands, or say something even worse than idiot. But everyone's favorite dad, Aiku, steps in and says no fighting. Hiyori is all of us in this situation watching on, and Aiku tells them to keep your passion hot, but your communication cool. And can we just give a standing ovation for Aiku? If this doesn't solidify him being the captain for Japan, then I don't know what will. Be 100% the group leader for calming everyone down. It's much deserved. Hisagi and Karasu apologize to each other, and then Rin includes himself in the conversation with his performative hair scrunch. Like he doesn't need to be doing all of that. He tells Isagi to not get cocky. Isn't he starting to think he's already the center of the team and everything will go his way? Looking at him and saying, do it after you win, you pretentious demon king. And this can't be good, bro. We got 1 day till the U20 World Cup. Everyone at each other's throats. How are we gonna work as a team? Like, what formation are we gonna use? To make matters worse, Buratsuta of all people barges in, and I'm weak because Ryu looks like he done with this guy already. 1 second in, he got zero care in the world. Buratsuta greets the Blue Lockers and says they're doing great, his fellow moneymakers, and then corrects himself saying his gemstones of talent. Get this guy off my screen, bruh. You gonna act like we ain't hear that before you corrected yourself? And why he's saying his gemstones of talent, like he brought them out of the mud. Shigiri, Bachira, Zantetsu, and Corona point him out, and Ego asks why Buratsuta self-invited himself to the facility, saying that he told him do not come on site. And Buratsuta says he has no intention of messing with the soccer stuff, it's just a greeting, and that he's here to let them know about the deal that they made, saying it'll boost their motivation too. Okay, hold up, we gonna get some more information on the Buratsuta 3, so he might be adding something of value. He then announces that the maximum players is not 23, but 26 players, and he has control of the 3 remaining slots. That's it, but one of these slots belongs to Itoshi Sai. Gagamaru is shocked, and Nanase says that's a lot of information, but of course, Itoshi Rin's reaction is the most shocked, that his brother is playing in the U20 World Cup. And how awkward is that gonna be? I really hope they make up in time. Sai stops rage baiting Rin, and Rin doesn't curse his brother to eternal suffering. What is going on with Buratsuta right here? I don't even want to know at this point. But he tells them that Sai will only play in the knockout stages, so there is 2 spots left. As he announces, BLUELOCK Japan's last 2 Side B begins, where it's a survival selection and they're gathering 300 players for a new BLUELOCK. Dog, what? We are legit restarting BLUELOCK. The red key is real. We're back to chapter 1. They're copying OG Fortnite. Atoya calls this out too, saying it's a ripoff. Kiora says it as well, and Bachira says that that's our money-grabbing Tanuki. Buratsuta says he picked them himself. The players are revealed, and oh my god, Kira Ryusuke is part of the new BLUELOCK. I'm telling you guys, this is a fever dream of a chapter. This is something you'd see from a fan fiction. If you told someone a year ago during the PXG game about this chapter, they would just laugh and ridicule you like you had the plague. Ends up, it's actually right. And Kira is all smiles and sunshine. He really think it all fun and games. I'm surprised we ain't see this guy with the meanest look on his face. Literally Squid Game. He's played this before. We are living in the timeline where Kira Ryusuke is mentioned again in BLUELOCK after 7 years of being gone. And he damn near has a good chance of coming back, because look at the rest of these guys here. It's a no-name trash can Fukakugen copies. Besides maybe this guy, we should all root for him. It's genuinely unbelievable that this is a real chapter, that this is in BLUELOCK. It's almost funny, like Kaneshiro knows to troll us by putting this guy back in here. I know half of y'all are rejoicing right now, and the other half is sick to their stomachs. Kira Ryusuke in the big 2025 is crazy, and even Isagi is in disbelief, remembering Kira and when he got eliminated. Bro looks like he saw a ghost or some witchcraft or something. Buratsuta talks about how the winners will be decided around the finals, so them and Itoshi Sai will join after. We get an up-close panel of his big, fat face, and he tells BLUELOCK to make it to the finals even if it kills them. And tears, bro, because Nanase, Corona, and Shigiri are dumbfounded. Like, when have you ever seen anyone in BLUELOCK look like this? Buratsuta walks out, telling them to make more money, and Isagi asks Ego what he plans to do and what will happen to BLUELOCK. Good question, because I have a feeling if Kira came back, he's gonna grief Isagi harder than a Barou, Kaiser, and Rin combined. But Ego says don't worry about such foolish emotions, and that the chairman only cares about gambling, so he's using that to make them stronger. Isagi brings up the first rule of BLUELOCK on how anyone who loses can never again become part of Japan's national team, specifically asking if Kira came back, and Ego says he won't use him, with zero hesitation, by the way. I ain't ever seen bro act any quicker than this. Besides Itoshi Sai, nobody can match up to BLUELOCK, and the decision to use them will be up to him, not Buratsuta. That means Ego will cast Kira to the bench for all of the U20 World Cup, and the most he'll do is be giving out Gatorades. I'm hella dead. Isagi asks, is Buratsuta's selection a part of the BLUELOCK system? And Ego says it's outside the plan, but think about it that way. However, if they can't win the U20 World Cup, then none of it matters. Ego will be expelled from the BLUELOCK project. And even though he's saying this sad stuff, he starts aura farming like we see the fit Ego, but at the same time, it's Ego, so it got me all giddy. We see Isagi, Bachira, Barou, and Aiku intently listening while he says his position isn't any different than theirs. He won't change his philosophy. Shido and Rin are listening as well, as Ego states to create the world's best striker, he'll risk everything to make Japan win the World Cup. Until this Ego comes to life, BLUELOCK won't be handed over to anyone. And I'm crying. Every time Ego speaks, it hits our souls like he really talking to us. And not to mention, bro be standing on business, he won't hand it over. But at the same time, I'm feeling a little scared, like I hope it comes true and it's not foreshadowing like another declaration. These words make Isagi smile, and Ego says for the first match against Nigeria, I will announce the regulars. And whoa, we're really about to see one of the starting formations. Buckled in my seatbelt, and I was ready for it to get revealed, but it wouldn't be a BLUELOCK chapter without getting baited or having a cliffhanger, because we instead cut over to some random fans outside of BLUELOCK. That was cruel, Kaneshiro. I really got baited. He knew what he was doing. Anyways, we see the Huz taking a picture with Isagi, the wholesome little guy who's Isagi's #1 fan from the U20 game, and then a mysterious foot. None other than Nagi Seishiro is outside of BLUELOCK, walking towards the stadium with the reveal that the U20 World Cup begins in 2 hours. What? So instead of the starting 11 reveal, we got Nagi, and what exactly is he doing here? I thought we were gonna see him take Buratsuta's deal, but now he's just walking towards the stadium, so I'm not sure what he's doing. But the possibility of a Nagi returning, a Kira returning, a new BLUELOCK starting, it literally sounds like a Nightmare Blunt rotation. It just doesn't sound real. The chapter ends off there though, and there's so much to unpack, so let's start discussing. We'll start with the big fat elephant in the room. Kira Ryusuke is back in BLUELOCK. 7 years! He's not 100% confirmed, but the fact that he was even remembered is crazy. I don't know if this is just a troll, or Kaneshiro would know how the audience would react if Kira came back. So he put Kira here for the hell of it, and yeah, it worked. Let's be real though, Kira's addition is actually pretty interesting. What the hell is his character going to do or add to the story? I really don't know, like he might just be out for revenge against Isagi and Bachara. We have a character like that already though. Or like Ego said, he might just be a bench warmer. But if Kaneshiro brings him back, I'm sure he's gonna explore his character and a little bit of his potential. If they just wanted to reference him, they would have just shown him watching the games instead of bringing him back. Me personally, I don't really enjoy the thought of Kira coming back, but I can't say it's not interesting. Like what he can add to the story is very, very intriguing to me. I just think we have the World Cup in literally like 2 hours, so why are we focusing on returning characters? But if Kaneshiro can pull off a balancing between the returning characters and the World Cup, all power to it. It's all good then. That's mainly the problem, the fact that we're getting so much focus on this random side plot, literally Red Key, instead of actual U20 content or training and the World Cup. Again, if Kaneshiro can balance between the two, then there isn't really a problem, since Kira and Nagi coming back are pretty interesting topics to spice up the manga. I want to quickly talk about Isagi and Nagi as well. Firstly, it looks like Isagi is losing a little bit of his kindness. Usually he talks about how Hiyori's passing is really good, just a glaze session for Hiyori, but maybe watching the games overseas made him realize that there's levels to this stuff, which is why he's holding him to an even higher standard. It wasn't too bad where we call Isagi a villain already. He ain't no Rin or Shido, but there is a little sign towards Isagi losing his humanity or his kindness. So I want to know y'all's thoughts. Do you think this is hinting towards something, or can we just brush it off? This might be hinting towards the Isagi downfall, or he might be an even bigger egoist. We'll see how it works out. I don't know. I think it's just gonna be very fun though. Nagi is also a big one. I addressed it earlier, but he'll most likely take part of Buratsuta's selection. And it looks like these two players from the Buratsuta 3 will be added alongside Sai during the knockout stage. It's not explicitly stated, but there is 2 hours left. Let's put 2 and 2 together. There is 0 time. Why would they add a Nagi with 2 hours left? So he'll probably join after the group stage or during the last match of it. I'm confused whether we're going to see the Buratsuta training on screen or off screen. We haven't seen the wildcard on screen, so we could just see the results of the selection and that's it. Next chapter is called Towards the U20 World Cup, and I'm hoping this is actually based on the U20 World Cup and not Nagi and Kira. I mean, the cliffhanger was on Nagi, so it's probably a Nagi-centered chapter. I just want to see the World Cup start at this point because I think that's a lot more interesting at the moment. There's a lot to unveil. I want to see the new characters, the new Gen 11s, how their training has paid off, formations, everything like that. So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, that wraps it up for this video. I'm super excited for these upcoming chapters. I can't complain. Nagi and Kira coming back or the U20 World Cup. Either way, something crazy will happen and I'm here for the ride. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as well to stay up to date with everything BLUELOCK. YouTube really thinks you'd like this video right here, so be sure to check that one out too. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.